Hi, I'm Adam, this is my metal detector, and that's a beach. Welcome to... Can't get the staff. I'm Adam, this is my metal detector, and we're back in lockdown. Welcome to D-TEKT Sussex. Hey everyone, hope you're all safe and well. So the coronavirus pandemic in England has become so bad that we've gone into another national lockdown. It's the same kind of lockdown as the first lockdown early last year, which means we cannot go out and metal detect outside of our own back garden. Now, I've got 15 square feet of lawn at my house here, and I metal detected that 4 times during the first lockdown last year, and I don't think there's much else going to be coming up, so I can't do that. But not being able to go out and metal detect does give us a perfect opportunity to perform some essential maintenance on our gear. So I'm going to give you a few tips today on what I do during this kind of time so that the equipment I have is in tip-top order for when we can go out in a few weeks' time. Let's get into it. So some of the tips I'm going to give you today are optional, they're just purely cosmetic. Some of them you need to do every few months. This first one is something you ought to do every 2 or 3 times you go out with the detector. And that is to give your coil a good old clean. Now the Simplex has a coil cover which comes off. It takes a bit of prying, just be gentle with it, you'll get it off fairly easily. And you'll need to give this a clean inside and clean the surface of the coil as well. The way to do that is just to run it under the outside tap and then get a soft cloth or a soft brush if you've got one, and just give it a good old clean. Get in the corners, get into little ridges around the outside, and just make sure it is as clean and free from dirt as you possibly can. Same with the coil, but you need to be a lot more careful with it. Make sure you don't put it down on concrete or any hard surface when the coil itself is exposed, otherwise you'll scratch and damage it. But same thing, run it under the tap and use a soft cloth to just clean off any of the muck. So once you've finished cleaning the coil cover and the coil itself, give it some time to air dry to make sure there's no moisture in there, and then carefully replace the coil cover on the end. The next thing you should do is take the coil off. So you can unscrew on the Simplex, unscrew the screws at the bottom here, and remove the coil completely. And you want to make sure you're cleaning all the way inside, all of these little hinges and little nooks and crannies in here. If you get too much grit in there, as this moves, as it does when you're out on the hunt, as this moves, it'll start wearing down the plastic, and after a while it just won't hold. It'll just flop around all over the place no matter how tight you tighten it. So make sure you clean all the way in there, and then you can proceed to take the rest of the detector apart, take the shafts out, and run everything under the tap, mop it with a cloth, just to get as much of the muck and dirt out of the machine as you possibly can. Yeah, move on to the next tip. So the next tip isn't so much a tip as much as a recommendation of something you should get for your metal detecting gear. GT85. It's a spray. You can get them in most bicycle shops here in the UK. You may well have an equivalent if you're outside the UK, something very similar you can use. It's very much like WD-40. It's a lubricant penetrator water displacer, but it has PTFE. Which is something WD-40 doesn't have, and what that does is it leaves a protective layer on the surface that you spray it onto. Now this stuff is brilliant. Okay, if your metal detector is plastic or metal, especially if it's plastic, this will bring it up absolutely magic. Spray a little bit on, give it a couple of seconds, and then give it a rub with a soft cloth, and it will make plastic shine. Get all the loose dirt off before you do it, but once you've got that off, give it a spray and a shine up with this, and the plastics will look absolutely fantastic. I found if you spray a little bit onto the cloth and then rub it into the buttons on the Simplex, you'll get rid of some of that yellow hue on there as well, and it just makes the entire machine look really, really good. Also, on the moving parts, such as the shaft adjustments, if you use this on there, it will make the sliding motion a lot smoother. It'll actually leave a film on there which will make it slide a lot easier and reduce damage to the machine. Now, another good use for GT85 is on your digging equipment, on your trowel, on your spade. Give it a wash off with the water, a little bit get most of the loose dirt off, and then once it's all clean, give it a good spray with GT85. Spray a film on, leave it to dry, and that will leave a protective layer on. It's a bit like covering in oil to keep it protected, stop it from corroding, but that's exactly what this will do. It'll leave a film over it and it'll keep it protected while it's not in use. Okay, bit of an obvious one, but lockdown's going to be lasting for several weeks, so it's a good idea if your equipment takes batteries to remove them. Now, the Simplex has a rechargeable battery, so nothing to worry about there, but if your pinpointer takes a battery, or if your detector have a different style of detector and that takes batteries, good idea just to take them out. It takes a few seconds, get them out of the gear and put them to one side. What I normally do is I take some masking tape and I'll actually tape the battery to the side of the pinpointer, machine, whatever. That way, when you get back to detecting, you're not going to get into the situation where you've got your gear in your boot, you go out to detect, you find your first hole with your pinpointer, and your pinpointer doesn't work because you've left your battery at home. So there's a little tip for you, a bit of masking tape, tape it to the side of the pinpointer, and that way you'll never forget the battery when you do get to go out in a few weeks' time. So there's just a few tips to help you keep your equipment clean and ready for action for when we can get back out and metal detect in a few weeks' time. I hope you enjoyed that. If you've got any extra tips, please drop them down into the comments down below the video, and hopefully we can all learn a few things from you there. Now, obviously, the next few weeks, I'm not going to be able to go to metal detect, but I am planning on getting some good quality videos out to you each and every single week. I've got some ideas for doing some behind the scenes stuff, so if you want to see what I do behind the camera to get these episodes out to you, I'll be doing an episode on that very, very shortly. We've also got 1,000 subscribers coming up, hopefully in the next few weeks, and when that happens, I'll order some prizes and we'll do a little giveaway. So keep it here. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button down below and hit the like button on the video if you've enjoyed it. I'll see you soon. Take care.